Hi, my name is Matt Carroll with World Class Coaching and with the help of Academy Sports Coach 2023. I wanted to talk to you today about a formation and a system of formation that we utilize for pressing. And that formation is the 3-5-2, or as I like to call it, the 3-2-3-2, because I like to sit the two sixes kind of as their own line in there. So I've labeled it 3-2-3-2, but it's just a 3-5-2 with the two sixes in that formation, because I've seen people do other things with it, play a little more flat, play the flip it and have there's 1-6 and 2-8. Do a number of different things. But I like this formation with the coverage you get in the sixes. So with the two forwards, you have a pretty unique opportunity. Now you lose having, say, like your 4-2-3-1, having an outside back go forward and press or things like that. But you have a lot of variability with ways you can press with your nines. So the one thing I like to do here is when they play out, I have the initial forward. We have one forward that goes to the ball. So they play out here, or they play out here. And basically the forwards are worried about the back line entirely. Okay? Any ball that goes to the back line. So these two guys, if it went to them, the 9 would press it. If it went to these two guys, the 9 would press there. So the 9 is pressing. And what they're pressing is they're just making sure the ball doesn't come back to the middle. So I tell the players all the time, it's not about you winning the ball. It's not about, you getting in a way that we can't make them go forward, because we want them to go forward, actually. And it's a system we call funneling. We want to funnel the opposition into a trap here. So they press here, or they press behind here, and they're forcing. The only thing that can't happen is the ball can't go into this area, and it can't go to the other center back. And what's helping them there is the other 9. Let's say he's starting to dribble out here. This guy's pressing him. The other 9 stands between the center backs and looks to make it so they don't have time to play that ball. If it goes back to to the wide area, if the ball goes back to the keeper or the other center back, the 9 is pressing it. So 1-9 is driving the ball and making sure we cut the field off. It should look. We want the field. Generally want their play to be like stationed here. So the 1-9 is keeping them in the box. The other 9 is making sure it doesn't go through. The 10. I'll move this off to the side. The 10 is picking up the runner here. 6. So we're man marking the center mid here. We're making sure that in this center mid, we're denying any opportunity for that ball to go through. The 3, the 5, and the 2 are slid over here to cover this. The 7, because the ball's on the other side, should be checked in. And if you watch my defensive video, the concept here is we're not going to be able to just man mark everybody here, but they're in a position where if the ball does get switched, they're close enough that they'd be able to, in the air, meet the ball at contact. So this player's here. The 9 presses. The ball goes here. The 9 continues to press, and they press this way. They're cutting them off. So what we're seeing is if they try to play back, our 9 is going to pick it off. In the midfield, and it's important because if this doesn't happen in the midfield and we have gaps here, this is where it's going to get broken. And this is where, if you notice, they're going to be able to utilize the lack of cover we have in the width. All right, so if they're able to get a ball through here to this guy, he turns, this runner's on, they're in on us in 3 passes. So it's incredibly important that everyone does their job in terms of man marking and pressing. If this player has time and space and they can, they can pick their head up, they might be able to pick a ball out over here or over here. They might be able to find the 9 who have somebody roll off of him. So his job is to make sure his head is down, make sure he's going towards the sideline, and make sure he can't have time and space to hit a long one. So again, the ball's passed from this guy to this guy. The 9 is split between them and pressing. His first look is going to be here. Now, what happens a lot of times, and what I've had to do a lot of teaching with, is the ball gets by, the 9 is back pressing, and the 11 jumps. And if the 11 jumps here, quick little slotted ball to the wing, and our 3 has to be dragged over here. A 6 maybe is pulled over the 10 or whatever. It pulls the entire thing out of sorts. So we don't want, and it's counterintuitive for them because they see the guy running up the field and they see he's got time and space. But we got to recognize if he does try to play a long ball, that's going to take time. The 9 is going to jump in there and take that ball and press. Okay, so the 9 seems like, they've gotten broken. They're not pressing. They're back pressing. They're just working back. The 9 is there because if they stop at any point, that 9 is going to press the ball and come across their body and force them out wide or take the ball. So the 11 stays home. And what you'll see is the player here out wide on the ball, they recognize, hey, I would love to play this long ball here, but I'm being hounded from behind. I don't think I actually have the time and space. So his head starts to go down. So he starts looking at his closer options. The 9's breathing down his neck, so he can't play back here. A long switch would be difficult. So he wants to play to this player, right? But the player 11 here is just not moving. Just he's standing on him. He's not jumping at the ball. So if he does play this ball, the 11 is instantly going to be able to press it and take it. Same thing's happening inside. All right. So he plays this ball. 10 jumps it. He plays this ball. The 11 jumps it. Okay. He plays over the cross here. This is probably his best option. The 7 has time and space and is kind of breathing down this guy's neck to come and intercept that ball. Anything across, as they're able to break here, the 9 is cutting off that angle and sliding in. So in this situation, we're funneling everything through it. We're trying to make it seem like they're like, okay, we broke the first line. The 9s are broken. We have time and space now. And as they kind of realize it, they're funneled in here. So anything across the middle, the 9 is picking up, the 10 is picking up. Their only 2 options are completely man marked. Now a 9 might run over here. Okay, in that situation, 5 can step up, 3 can step up. All right, we're trying to find man marks for the 9s and cut those situations off. A lot of times, what's going to happen though is it's going to get very compact here, and they're not going to always see that forward option, and they're going to try to force to these players. So to put it back here, let's run through it all again. Oh, I don't want to delete that. So they're set here in a 4-2-3-1. Okay, they've got there's 2 6s and a 10. The 9's running across the back line. Usually, the higher he's pushed up, the easier it is for us, because what will happen is he's not going to be able to play that long ball. And if he's really high up, the defense doesn't have to really move as much. They can just kind of sit on him or pull him off sides. So the ball's here with the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper plays short. First step, 9 presses. Nothing inside. Second step, 9 slides in, is covering anything across the back line, especially the keeper. All right, if they play back to the keeper, we're jumping that. All right, if this ball goes here, the 9 continues to press. This 9 slides in a little bit. The 11 and the 10 do not press. They stay home and they man mark these players. Yeah, now this player is being hounded from behind. They don't really have time to look up, but if they play this ball, the 7 is jumping it. The 6, here. The 6s and the 10 are man marking the midfield, and the 11 is man marking the opposition winger. So wherever the ball goes in the midfield, a player is going to be able to jump it and be on their back immediately. Now, let's say they play back. They play this kid's foot. We jump the route, but we're not there in time, and he plays back. This is where it can be dangerous. Okay, this is where it can be dangerous because now they've given themselves time and space, and if the 9 doesn't continue to press, they can find that ball over the top and play him wide or whatever it may be. So the 9 should stay on the player even after the ball is played, especially because if we do win it, now we have a target we can play off of and roll off with him and or slide him through. But the 9 should continue to press until we've won the ball. The other 9 sliding, and again, helping a situation now. If it goes back in any direction, then this 9 is picking off. So 9 is now covering all 3 of these players. If they're able to play a ball back here, and he's able to play all the way back to the opposition, right? That's a situation we love to see because if they mess it up, the 10 can jump in. Maybe the 7 runs over. It's a long ball. It takes a lot of time in the air. Or they're playing a long ball across their back line negative. If they play that ball, we can live with that ball. And all we'll have to do is slide and pin on the other side. So now we run over. Hopefully we have enough time. And everyone just kind of slide back in. So those are really their only options. If where we can get hurt is if the forward doesn't press well enough and the player is able to get time and space to play a long ball, or if the 11 jumps in and leaves this wide area open, it doesn't stay home on the winger. But the only other option really they have is to play a long ball across their back line or play into their back line where we've got a 9 sitting here waiting to press and jump anything that goes through there. I think I've had other coaches come over and say, your forwards aren't really taking a good angle. I'm like, well, that's what we want them to do. We're trying to give the opposition the thought process that this is working. I've broken my first line, but we're baiting them into that trap, and we're making the field small, and we're making them comfortable. And by the time they realize it, they just pick their head up, and there's no options. Everyone is covered. They're near the touch line. They're in a little bit of trouble. So I'd love to hear how you press in your 3-5-2, how you utilize breaking down the opposition's build-up play and trying to win the ball high up on the field. So you can definitely leave that in the comments. So once again, my name is Matt Carroll with World Class Coaching and the Help of Academy Sports Coach 2023. And I hope the session finds you well.